Hello, Distinctive Schools teachers. Anthony Claypool here with a quick video on cognitive planning the block using the Distinctive Schools Curriculum Maps site. This is a kind of a bird's eye view presentation. We'll get into some of the details of doing cognitive planning in the subject areas in other videos. This is just kind of, as a whole, how do we approach planning at Distinctive Schools? One of the first things I want to emphasize, given that point, is that cognitive planning at Distinctive Schools is a process, not a product. Okay, this is about every instruction cycle, every block that we're going to get together with our peers. We're going to review the end goal of the block of instruction, and we're going to do high-level thinking and high-level planning so that we can get the best results for our kids. Okay, it is not a product. We provide some products and we create some products in the process, but the point is the process. Okay, and because it's a process, it's ongoing and it's cyclical. So we'll be doing this repeatedly throughout the year, but also you might find that the plan you made leading into a block needs to be tweaked frequently throughout the block, and we highly encourage that, and that's what our support team, one of the main things we're charged with is to help you do that. Okay, and since it's a process, every building might look a little bit different. Okay, so your building leadership is probably the best group to help figure out exactly what are the ins and outs of doing cognitive planning as a team. And frequently you'll see that they emphasize different aspects of the process throughout the year because frankly there's just so much and our collaboration time together is always limited and always requires a lot of effort to try to get as much stuff done as possible. So we'll emphasize different aspects throughout the year. And so if we're going to de-emphasize one aspect in the collaborative time, you need to make sure that you come prepared with your end of the work so that we make the most out of that collaborative planning time. Okay. Every building process is different, but the common process is the kind of non-negotiables, if you will, is that we do things via backwards design. And I'm going to go into this cognitive planning flow map because as a visual person, I think it helps give some context. Okay, so we always do things with the end goal in mind. We want to look at what is it that students need to be able to achieve by the end of the block according to the standards and according to the common formative assessment that we're going to use to measure how much students have learned. Okay. We also have as a non-negotiable that it should enrich teachers' understandings of the standards and the skills that are required to meet those standards. So every session should include some discussion and unpacking of, well, what are these standards asking for? Because there's so much richness interlaced into the Common Core standards. Okay, there should be a lot of thought about analyzing student achievement data, informal anecdotal data, anything that we know about our students to help anticipate what students need to achieve to the highest level of their ability and work towards that ultimate goal of being college and career ready. And then finally, you're going to end up creating a logical sequence of instruction for the month. That's the basic kind of commonality that every group is going to do every session is backwards design, steeping themselves in the standards, using data to try to figure out what kids need, and then coming up with a plan of a sequence of instruction. Okay. Now, that said, there are some important products. It is a process, but there are some important products that you'll end up creating. One of those is going to be a calendar. And in your collaborative meeting time, you probably are going to end up be able to come up with a calendar of objectives that you want to have completed each day. And you might come up with a list of additional resources, either that we provide via the published resources that exist in your classroom, stuff that we've already pulled and put on the site. Or you might find a list of resources that you need us to help you get, or that you need to create yourselves, or that we need to tap other people in the network for that. Okay, and then we also should leave the session with some ideas for how to differentiate. Okay, so I hope this video from 30,000 feet high is useful to you to help get you thinking about cognitive planning in Distinctive Schools. And please visit our other videos so that you can get into some of the more details about how to do cognitive planning in math and reading.